So the Albright v. Oliver decision in 1994. In Albright v. Oliver, what you're going to have is a cocaine whore who is a paid informant to this police officer named Oliver. And the cop Oliver keeps on going to this cocaine whore, pays the cocaine whore a bunch of money, and then she keeps on coming back and saying, that guy sold me cocaine, and that lady, and then that person, and that person. 50 times. Veda Moore. Her name is Veda Moore, and Veda Moore falsely implicated over 50 individuals in criminal activity. And it resulted each time in a dismissed prosecution. So Veda Moore, who's addicted to cocaine, is getting money from the state, getting money as a paid informer. Is this cop getting his dick wet? This cop has to be getting his dick wet, because why else would you believe somebody 50 times and every one of your damn cases are getting thrown out? Maybe he's addicted to cocaine too. The Court of Appeals says that the criminal proceeding was resting on such scanty grounds it was nothing short of shocking. So the cop Oliver goes to the grand jury and says, oh, by the way, I got a witness. I got a third-party witness, a compulsive liar that told me some hearsay. How in the hell does that get turned into a court proceeding? How do we push a conviction on this? Relying entirely on information provided by Veda Moore, Oliver the cop had testified before a grand jury, and he had secured an indictment against the first suspect, John Albright Jr., for selling baking soda in violation of Illinois law. Unfortunately, there is no Illinois law that says you're not allowed to sell baking soda to somebody asking you for cocaine. If a snitch, narc, cocaine addict who's taking state money and making mockery of the state tries to buy cocaine from you and you sell them baking soda instead, thank you. Thank you. That's a good thing. That's what we want you to do. But John Albright Jr., he didn't even do any of it. They just pointed a name in the phone book and said it was this guy. So you got this cop Oliver who's going to try to arrest John Albright Jr., but then Oliver the cop is going to become convinced that he had the wrong man. And he substituted the name of a second suspect, Albright's son, on the arrest warrant. So this Oliver the cop isn't just believing a goddamn pathological liar, but he is changing government forms. He's lying on government forms, and he keeps substituting names on the arrest warrant, on the grand jury indictment. Once again, it becomes clear to Oliver the cop that his suspect could not have committed the crime. This other guy, the other son, John David was in Chicago the whole time. And this is in a different Macomb. This comes out of Illinois. Oliver then asked Veda Moore whether her vendor might have been a different son of the man she had first identified. And guess what Veda Moore says? Oh yeah, my bad. No, it wasn't John Oliver. It wasn't John Albright Jr. No, it wasn't John David Albright. It was Kevin Albright. That's who it was. Yep. And now I remember. Can I get some more money so I can get some more cocaine? Oh, you want to get your dick sucked first? Veda Moore admitted of that possibility. It could have been. And then Oliver, the cop, attested to the criminal information charging petitioner. It is criminal information. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Oliver should serve the jail time, and Veda Moore should serve the jail time that they were accusing Kevin Albright. What, he sold cocaine, so what is that, 15 years in prison? That's a lot of fucking headache. That's a big fucking deal. And the fact that they did this over and over and over 50 fucking times. His third and final suspect, now he's being charged with a felony. It's more likely that she had consumed the cocaine, replaced it with baking soda herself, and then Veda Moore then picked the name from the phone book at random. Again, this is Blackman and Stevens' dissent. The fact that she used her informant's reward to buy cocaine makes this hypothesis all the more plausible. An arrest is a serious business. To arrest a person on the scanty grounds that are alleged to be all that Oliver had to go on is shocking. It's shocking. Just as perjured testimony may invalidate an otherwise proper conviction, so also may the absence of proof render a criminal conviction unconstitutional. The traditional assumption that proof of a criminal charge beyond a reasonable doubt is constitutionally required in Winship has been endorsed explicitly and tied directly to the Due Process Clause. When the quantum of proof supporting a conviction falls sufficiently far below this standard, then the Due Process Clause requires that the conviction be set aside, even in the absence of any procedural error. Jackson v. Virginia, 1979. Of course it should be set aside. Oh, okay, you took that liar's lie. Now we're going to shove it down the people's throat. You're a cop. The whole system has to... If we dismiss this case, then the system doesn't make any damn sense. Why the fuck would a prosecutor push this? Why would a judge want to preside over this? Why would a jury sit and listen to this shit? And what if the jury believed the fucking lies? So this guy who didn't do a damn thing whatsoever, he had a name in a phone book. He was just falsely accused of some random ass crazy shit. He didn't sell her cocaine, so the crime is he should have sold her cocaine, or he should have sold her crack. Maybe some heroin or meth. The traditional assumption that proof of a criminal charge beyond a reasonable doubt is constitutionally required. Jackson v. Virginia, 1979, in Winship, the 14th Amendment contains only one due process clause. Though it is sometimes helpful as a matter of doctrine to distinguish between substantive and procedural due process, see Daniel v. Williams, 1986, Stevens concurring in judgments, the two concepts are not mutually exclusive, and their protections often overlap. In an early Massachusetts case, Chief Justice Shaw described it as follows. The right of individual citizens to be secure from an open and public accusation of crime and from the trouble, expense, and anxiety of a public trial before a probable cause is established by the presentment and indictment of a grand jury in case of high offenses is justly regarded as one of the securities to the innocent against hasty, malicious, and oppressive public prosecutions, and as one of the ancient immunities and privileges of English liberty. Jones v. Robbins, Massachusetts, 1857. The court's judgment of affirmance is supported by 5 different opinions. So this is going to get held up by 5 opinions that were all different. Every one of them had different reasons of why they should go ahead and ignore the 50 lies, ignore the 50 arrests, and the 50 dismissals. Who cares that this whole thing is built upon a house of cards? Who gives a flying fuck? Nobody gives a shit. Significantly, none of them endorses the reasoning of the Court of Appeals, and none of them commands a majority. Of greatest importance in the aggregate, those opinions do not reject my principal submission. The Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment constrains the power of state government to accuse a citizen of an infamous crime. The stories behind the case law matters. To reference Albright v. Oliver, 1994, is anything else but a criminal witness and probably criminal cop who are using state funds, state money, and authority to embezzle and buy cocaine themselves. This is not a good case to hang witness or cops qualified immunity upon. Oh, I deserve qualified immunity. Well, I'm a cop and I listened to this liar. I took the money from the government and I gave it to my cocaine whore and she falsely accused somebody else, and either I'm just a dumbass dupe or I'm a part of this goddamn racket myself. I'm a fucking racketeering fascist. I don't like the reference to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The star player is exonerated by supporting, but the supporting players is not. This is fucking insane. So the low-level hoodlums, you can't go after Al Capone, but you can go after his apprentice. You can't go after the general, but you can go after the private. You can't go after the CEO, but you can go after the janitor. The don of the mafia, the head gangster, the leader of crimes, is the one leading others to commit crimes. And to only hit the lower level folks is to go after the small fry, the small fish, and to let the kingfish go. And the excuse of SCOTUS. Why did SCOTUS say that Kevin Albright didn't get his malicious prosecution claim? Was because that he forgot to mention that it was a Fourth Amendment violation with the false arrest, or it was a Fifth Amendment violation, the Fifth Amendment with the grand jury clause. He just said this is a violation of my substantive civil rights according to the 14th Amendment. That's insane. It's like you wrote it was the 14th Amendment, but you forgot to write that it was the 4th Amendment. So you knew 1983, you knew the 14th Amendment, but you didn't know the 4th Amendment. Our Bill of Rights come from God. And if God is dictating these things, you must have a grand jury indictment. You're not allowed to make false arrests. Well then, that's the 4th Amendment and the 5th Amendment with muster. That's the 5th Amendment. That's our Constitution protecting our liberties like our freedoms actually matter. This makes me think a lot about Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks right now is being sued by a former makeup artist, Deborah Wingo Williams, who owns Salon Wingo in Madison, Mississippi. And what did Deborah Wingo do? Well, Garth Brooks is saying that she is wrongfully assassinating his character. She had threatened to wrongfully assassinate his character through the public airing of revulsive and untrue allegations. So, there's just two people, right? You got Garth Brooks, you got Deborah Wingo. Well, is it true? Is it not true? The 6th Amendment says you got a right to confront the accusations. You got a right to confront the witnesses. And so when he goes and asks Deborah Wingo all that she knows, Garth Brooks had alleged that she told him about her plans to file a lawsuit, though said she wouldn't go through with it if he paid her millions. This is extortion. Additionally, Garth Brooks claimed that the woman was struggling financially after she moved from Tennessee to Mississippi. He insisted that he did his best to help her out financially. So Garth Brooks is getting fucked over for being a good man. Oh, you spurned a woman, huh? You spurned a woman's advances, and now he's going to go down for it? I think the Garth Brooks case is actually a fantastic one to think about. Because if you only have two people and they're saying the exact opposite. Oh, no, he did A, B, and C. Oh, no, I didn't do A, B, and C. She did A, B, and C. Well, you have two people who's saying the exact opposite. The presumption of innocence is on the accused. So if they're both saying competing claims, you don't have any other case unless you have another witness, a photograph, a videotape. You have any circumstantial evidence, any corroborating evidence? Do you have any direct evidence? Do you have any evidence whatsoever? It's not what you know, but it's what you can prove. It's kind of what you know, but you need to have another witness. Because how can you tell? If you have one person accusing another person and the other person accusing the other person, the only way that you can pick one person over the other is if you're like, well, I'm friends with this person and I like this person and I can attest to his character. Now that could be something. He's always told me the truth. He's always been a good, honest man who's always told the truth. She's always been a good co-core. She's never lied to me 50 times. This isn't the 51st time that she's lied to me. I am not listening to a co-core and embezzling state funds, keeping the money for myself and then passing it out to this co-core who's going around giving out false allegations. Garth Brooks claimed that the woman was struggling financially after she moved from Tennessee to Mississippi, and he helped her out financially. However, he shut down her request to be a salaried employee with medical benefits. And then she hired a lawyer to bring false and outrageous allegations of sexual misconduct against him. Holy shit. Albright v. Oliver, 1994, is a Bell v. Buck. 3 generations of imbeciles is enough. Bell v. Buck is a bullshit Supreme Court decision. Plessy versus Ferguson. Albright v. Oliver is a Dred Scott decision. Yeah, you got the Albright case, huh? Oh, you're going to reference the Albright case? Well, that's interesting. Because you seem to think that a cop and a lying witness and a judge and jury and prosecutor and everybody in the goddamn community can claim absolute fucking immunity for what they did to Kevin Albright. Fuck you and fuck that case. When a lying co-core and her cop fucking buddy lie to grand juries and the prosecutors and they lie on paperwork and government documents, they don't deserve absolute immunity, qualified immunity. They don't deserve any immunity. They deserve punishment. They deserve jail time. They deserve to be fined. And we the people deserve justice. Kevin Albright deserved justice. To establish justice is in the preamble. They're going to get him locked up for 15 years. They should serve the 15 years. They're threatening 15 years. How's that not fighting words? How is it not fighting words with every subsequent person that read this case didn't hear what the accused was saying? Garth Brooks had filed the case against her before or after. I'm not for sure who did it first, but they're both accusing each other of crimes. And so if Garth Brooks doesn't have a witness, then Deborah Wingo has to go. She gets to walk free. If you have competing claims, you have competing allegations, and you have no further evidence, no further witnesses, you got to discern the truth. In order to get objective justice, you need objective truth. You got to have a firm foundation upon which justice can spring from. So if you want to reference the Albright decision, well, according to the 1994 Albright decision, are you fucking stupid? How fucking dumb are you? You think you get a fucking person's life over and over and over again and somehow that's establishing justice? You think you get to force a liar's lie down the throats of every one of us, and then when you find out that they were wrong, you're going to spend millions more dollars to double down on their initial crime to begin with? Like, what the fucking fuck? What the fucking deed? This is a 30-year-old case. It was dismissed because they couldn't find an Illinois statute that says selling baking soda to somebody who's looking for cocaine, a criminal motherfucker, a criminal, lying, pathological motherfucker. You couldn't find a statute, so there wasn't even a law that was broken to begin with. How in the fuck did this case even get past the first fucking magistrate or the judge? Well, cop fucking did it, and we're going to give the immunity to the cop that we give to the judge, to the cop, to the damn witness, to everybody and anybody that we want to. And then you're going to turn around and try to tell me it's not malicious prosecution, it wasn't a wrongful arrest, it wasn't a deprivation of constitutional rights. Fuck you. That's so insane it's not even funny. Personally, I think that you would want the malicious prosecutor or the false arrester or the damn criminal fuck to reference Albright v. Oliver, 1994. Natural law is rational law. And what does rational law says? That in order to establish justice, Kevin Albright deserves his day in court. The facts matter. Get your facts straight, then distort them at your leisure. Man's distinctive characteristic is his type of consciousness, a consciousness able to abstract, to form concepts, to apprehend reality by a process of reason. The valid definition of man within the context of his knowledge and of all mankind's knowledge to date is a rational animal. We can discern the truth. We have the ability to use logic. We can discern the truth. So we should figure out the truth. In order to get justice, you got to know the damn facts. Ayn Rand also said a man's life as required by his nature is not the life of a mindless brute, of a looting thug or a mooching mystic, but the life of a thinking being. Not life by means of force or fraud, but life by means of achievement. Not survival at any price, since there's only one price that pays for man's survival. Reason, logic, intelligent, discern the damn truth. Figure out the fucking facts. When you figure out the facts and you know the facts, then you proceed forward. Oh, just a big fucking political game. Oh, I know this person, so just go ahead and cover their damn crimes up because you know them.